Hello and welcome to Drill and Kill. That's correct, my friend. This is where we drill until we kill all the mistakes. So, without further ado, let's get on to our first problem. And here we go with our very first problem. 5,455 divided by 64. As you see, I've got my 6's and my 4's written. I also wrote my 7's because I'm going to estimate this 64 as 70 when I'm working on the problem. So, without further ado, let us create our first area box, and we will write the 5,455 right inside the box and the 64 on the outside of the box. I'm going to shrink this and put it right over here so I have a little more room to work. And now I'm trying to figure out how many times 64 can go into 5,455. Well, 64 will not fit into 5 or 54, so I'm working with the 545, which means I need a place value holder for this ones place here. So I'm going to put a 0 here and a 0 down here because 0 times 64 will give me 0 right here. Now, I want to estimate this 64. I want to bump up to 70, and I'm going to use 70 as my estimation. So this is actually 70, 140, 210, 280, 350, 420, 490, 560, which would be too much here. So I'm going to come back here to 490, which means I'm going to multiply by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I'll plug a 7 right there, and bam, there we have it. Now I'm working with the real numbers. 7 times 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. That's 28. I'll drop the 8 and carry the 2. 8 goes here, and the 2 goes right there. And then 7 times 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 is 42, plus this 2 here is going to give me 44, right? And now I'm good to subtract. But before I do, I check for any trouble coming. And lo and behold, I've got it right here. No trouble here, but 5 minus 8 cannot do, so I've got trouble. And I'm going to borrow from this 4, turn it into a 3, turn that 5 into 15. And now I got more trouble over here because I cannot take 3 and subtract 4. So I'm going to borrow a group of 10 from the 5 and turn that into 4, turn that into 13. Now I have 15 minus 8, 13 minus 4. I can do both those, and 4 minus 4 zeroes out. So I'm good to go. I will add my next area box in here and do my subtraction. 5 minus 0 will give me 5. 15 minus 8 is going to give me 7. And 13 minus 4 is going to give me 9. And then 4 minus 4 zeroes out. So, bam, I am good to go, my friend. Now, let's take a look here. And if you see here, I've got the 64 will fit into the 97 one more time, so I'm going to have to hold that place value again. So I'm going to put another 0 up here, and then 0 times 64 will give me a 0 right here. And then I know that this will go in there one more time, so 1 times 64 will give me 64, right? And now I'm ready to subtract, but before I do, I've got to check for trouble coming. I got none, none, and none. So I can add my next area box, and I'll do that right here. And bam, there we go. And now I simply subtract, but before I do, I want to give myself a little more room. 5 minus 0 will give me 5, and 7 minus 4 will give me 3, and 9 minus 6 will also give me 3. And now I'm ready to check this out and see. 64 will not fit into 33, so I am into the ones column now. And I got to figure out about how many times, right? So I'm going to estimate as 70, And so each of these have a 0 behind the digits. And I'm looking for a number that's close to, but not over 335. So I got 70, 140, 210, 280, 350, which is over that. So I'm going to come back to the 280. And that means I'm going to multiply by 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'll plug a 4 right there. And bam, there we go. Now I'm working with the real numbers. 4 times 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 16. So I'm going to drop the 6 and carry the 1. So I'll drop the 6 right here, and I'm going to carry the 1 right there. And then 4 times 6 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 24. Plus 1 is going to give me 25, right? So I got 25 right there. And I'm going to subtract, but before I do, I'm going to look for trouble coming, and bam, I got it right away. So I'm going to borrow from here, turn this into a 2, and turn that into 15. And then I got more trouble coming because it cannot take 2 and subtract 5. So I'll borrow from this, turn that into a 2, and turn that into 12. And now I'm good to go. Let me get my next area box written in here. And I'll do that right here. Oops. There, that looks a little better. And now 15 minus 6 will give me 9. Plug my 9 right in there. And 12 minus 5 is going to give me 7. Plug my 7 in there. And then 2 minus 2 zeros out, so I don't need to worry about that. And look, lo and behold, 64 will fit in here one more time. So let's come back up here and we'll add another 1 right there. And then 1 times 64 will give me 64 right here. And now I'm ready to subtract. But before I do, let's look for trouble coming. And I have no trouble because I can do this and I can do this. So let's go ahead and make our next area box. And then we're going to subtract. And 9 minus 4 is going to give me 5. And 7 minus 6 is going to give me 1. 15. And if we look here, 15 is smaller than the 64, so this becomes our remainder. And I love that. So now we're really all done other than adding this up. So what I want to do is first move all this stuff, right? So I have more room to work. And then I'm going to just draw this line here, and I'm adding up this direction. So I get the zeros, the 4, and the 1 is going to give me 5 right here. And then I've got 7 and 1 is going to give me 8 right there. And then I got to plug my remainder in, which, if you remember down here, is 15, right? So I'll write the 15 in here. And right there, my friends, is your answer. So 5,455 divided by 64 equals 85 with a remainder of 15. Hey, if you made a mistake anywhere along the way, no worries at all, my friend. Simply pause the video, fix your mistake. That is the fastest way to learn. So, let's move on to our next problem. And here it is. 3,879 divided by 86. So, as you notice, I got my 8s written and my 6s. And then I also wrote my 9s because I'm going to round this up to 90, right? So let's go ahead and get started with our area box. And I'll plug this in right here. And then I'm going to write the 3,879 right inside the box and the 86 on the outside of the box. And I'm looking at how many times 86 will go into 3,879. So first I want to shrink this and put it over here. And then I'm going to look at how many times 86 can go in here. It cannot fit into 3, it cannot fit into 38, but it can fit into 387. So I'm going to put a place value holder of a 0 right here. And then 0 times 86 will give me a 0 right here. And now I am ready to start looking for how many times 86 can go into the 387. I'm going to use 90 as my estimation number, which means I'm going to come up here to the 9s and just count by 90. By 9s, but I'm going to add a 0. Okay, so 90 180, 270, 360, 450, and that's too much, so I'm going to come back to 360. That means I'm going to multiply by 1, 2, 3, and 4, so I'll plug a 4 right in there. So 4 goes right there, and then I'm working with the real numbers now. So 4 times 6, 1, 2, 3, 4 is 24. I'm going to drop the 4 and carry the 2, drop the 4 right here, carry the 2 right there, and then I'll add this 2 in after I multiply by here, right? 4 times 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's 32, plus this 2 is going to give me 34, and I'll plug that in right there, and then I'm ready to subtract. Before I do, I want to look for any trouble coming. I have no trouble here, no trouble here, none here, and none there. That means I got no trouble at all, my friends. All right, I'm going to add that next area box in there, and then 9 minus 0 is going to give me 9, and 7 minus 4 is going to give me 3. 8 minus 4 will give me 4. And 3 minus 3 zeroes out, so I am good to go. Now, 86 will not fit into 4 or 43, so I am working with the 439. So I'm working here in the ones column. So let's come back up here, and remember, I'm using the 90 to estimate, right? And I'm looking for close to 439. So I got 90, 180, 270, 360, 450, and that's, too much, right? So I'm going to come back here to 360, which means I'm going to multiply by 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to plug a 4 right there. So we'll do the 4 all over again. Now, a super secret trick is you could just write the 344, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to show you how we solve this. So I'm going to go 4 times 6. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4. 24. I'm going to drop the 4 and carry the 2. So I'll drop the 4 right here, carry the 2 right here. And then 4 times 8. 1, 2, 3, 4 is 32. Plus 2 is 34. So I've got 34. And as you notice, 344 here and 344 right there, because I multiplied both of these by 4, right? At any rate, let's do our subtraction, but we're going to check for trouble coming first. I got no trouble here. I got a little trouble. So I'm going to have to borrow from the 4, turn that 4 into a 3, and turn the 3 into 13. And now I no longer have trouble coming. So let's go ahead and make our next area box. And bam, I'll do that right there. And 9 minus 4 is going to give me 5 right here. And 13 minus 4 is going to give me 9 right there. And as you see, I can fit one more group of 86 into this 95. So I'm going to add a 1 right there. 1. And then 1 times 86 will give me 86 right here. And when I subtract, first I'll check for trouble coming. I've got trouble coming. So let's enlarge this. I'm going to borrow from the 9, turn that into 8, turn that into 15. And then I'm ready to subtract. 15 minus 6 is going to give me 9. 8 minus 8 zeroes out. So 9 is my remainder. And let me write that because it's fun to do. And so now we're really pretty much all done, other than the fact that I've got to add this up. So I'm going to move this step out of the way so I got a little bit more room. And then we will add up like this, right? So I get 4 and 1 is going to give me 5 right there. And then I've got 4 and nothing is going to give me a 4 right there. I got to add my remainder in, which is the 9 from right down there. So 45, remainder, I can't even talk right now. 45, remainder 9. 3,879 divided by 86 equals 45 with a remainder of 9 left over. Okay, if you made a mistake, no worries at all, my friend. Simply pause the video, fix your mistake. That is the fastest way to learn. And now, let's move on to Big Bad number 3. And here we have it, the third problem of this video. And we are doing 3,963 divided by 47. As you see, I wrote my 4s down, my 7s down, and my 5s because this is going to round off to 50, right? So the first thing I want to do is create my area box, and I'm going to write the 3,963 right inside that box. 47 goes outside the box, and now I'm going to shrink this so I've got a little bit more room and put it over here. And then I'm looking at how many times 47 can go into 3,963. Well, 47 will not go into 3, it won't go into 39, but it will go into 396. So I'm going to put a 0 above here, and then a 0 goes here because 0 times 47 equals 0, right? So now I want to use 50 as my estimation. So instead of using 47, I'm going to estimate this as 50. So these are my counting by 5s, and I'm going to imagine I got a 0 behind each of these digits. I get 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350, and 400 is a little bit too much, so I'm going to go with the 350, which means I'm going to multiply by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I'll plug a 7 right there. And then 7 times 7 is going to give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 49. I'm going to drop the 9 and carry the 4. Drop the 9, carry the 4 right there, and then I'll add it in on this next one. 7 times 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 gives me 28. Plus 4 is going to give me 32. So I'm going to circle that and go 32. And now I'm ready to check for trouble coming first. I got no trouble. Uh-oh, I got trouble. So I'm going to borrow from the 9, turn that into an 8, and turn that into 16. And then I got no trouble here, so I am good to go. I'm going to add my next area box right there. And then 3 minus 0 will give me 3. 16 minus 9 will give me 7. 8 minus 2 is going to give me 6. And 3 minus 3 zeroes out, so I don't need to worry about that. And now I'm looking at 47 going into 63, and it can't, 63, what am I saying? I would jump from here to here. That's craziness. I'm talking about 67, and 47 can fit into 67, so I'm going to add a place value holder here, and then 0 times 47 gives me another 0 here, and now I know it'll go in there one more time, so I'm going to add the 47 right there, and check for trouble coming, and I got no trouble here, and none there. So I can add my next area box. And 3 minus 0 will give me 3. 7 minus 7 is 0, and 2 minus 4, wow, I'm jumping all over. 6 minus 4 is 2. I jumped to the answer right away. That's craziness. All right. Anyway, let's move on here. So now I'm looking at 47, and it cannot fit into the 20, so I am looking at 203. So once again, I'm going to use 50 as my estimation, right? So I'm going to go 50, 100, 150, 200, and 250 is too much, so I'll go with the 200, right? That means I'm multiplying by 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going to plug a 4 right there. So let's plug our 4 in right there. And now I'm working with the real numbers. 4 times 7, I get 1, 2, 3, 4 is 28. I'm going to drop the 8 and carry the 2. So I drop the 8 here, and I'll carry a 2 right there. And then I've got 4 times 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 is 16. Plus 2 is going to give me 18. So I drop the 18, and now I'm ready to subtract. But before I do, I got to look for any trouble coming. And lo and behold, I got trouble right away. Now I'm going to, instead of borrowing from this and turning that into 10, I'm going to just go from 20, right? And I'm going to borrow from 20, and 1 less than 20 would be 19. So I'm going to drop a 1 there and a 9 there, and now I can turn this into 13, and now I've got no trouble, and none at all. So let's go ahead and make our next area box and plug that there. And 13 minus 8 is going to give me 5. 9 minus 8 is going to give me 1. And 1 minus 1 zeroes out. So let's take a look at what I've got here. And if you notice, the 15 is smaller than the 47, so this is going to be my remainder, right? Perfect. And that means that I'm ready to add these up like this, right? So let's go ahead and I'm going to first make some more room by moving this stuff out of the way, my friends. And now I've got the zeros and the 4 will give me a 4 right here. And then I've got 7 and 1 is going to give me an 8 right there. I've got my remainder of 15 from down here, right? And so I'll plug that up there, and bam, 84 with a remainder of 15. So 3,963 divided by 47 equals 84 with a remainder of 15. Hey, if you made a mistake anywhere along the way, no worries at all, my friend. Simply pause the video, fix your mistake. That is the fastest way to learn. And I will see you in one moment I can't even say it. One moment on our next problem. And here we go with our last problem of this video. 2,721 divided by 39. As you see, I've got my 3's written, my 9's written, and since I'm going to round this off to 40, I've got my 4's written as well. So the first thing I want to do is create my first area box, and unplug the 2,721 right inside that box. The 39 goes outside the box, and I'm trying to see how many times 39 will go into 2,721. So 39 will not fit into 27, and that means I'm going to have to work with 272, and I'm going to have a place value holder for this right here, right? So I'll put a 0 here. Before I do that, I'm going to shrink this so I've got a little more room, put it over here. Then I can add my 0 here. 0 times 39 will give me a 0 right here, and that will hold that place value for me. So now I'm going to be thinking of this 39 as 40, and I'm going to estimate with the 4's here, right? So this is really, it's got a 0 there, so this, all of these have an extra 0 behind them. So I got 40, 80, 120, 160, 200, 240, 280, which is too much, right? So I'm going to come back here to 240. That means I'm going to multiply by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'll plug a 6 right in there. And then I'm working with the real numbers now. 6 times 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 gives me 54. I'm going to drop the 4 and carry the 5. So drop the 4 and carry the 5 right there. And that will get added in when I multiply 6 times 3. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 is 18 plus 5 is going to give me 23. So I'm going to write 23 right there. And now I'm ready to subtract. But before I do, I better look for any trouble coming because I think I got it. I got no trouble here, but I do have trouble because I cannot take 2 and subtract 4. So I'm going to borrow from the 7, turn that into a 6, and turn that into 12. And then I've got no trouble here, and none there. So I can go ahead and add my next area box, which I'll do right here. And then I get 1 minus 0 will give me 1. 12 minus 4 is going to give me 8. 6 minus 3 will give me 3. And 2 minus 2 zeroes out, so don't need to worry about it, right? So let's look here, and 39 can go into 38. No, it cannot, but it can go into 381, right? So I am working in the ones column here. So I've got to estimate I'm going to use my 4s to estimate, right, about how many times this will go into the 381. So I've got 40, 80, 120, 160, 200, 240, 280, 320, 360, and 400 is too much, right? So I'm working with 360. That means I'm going to multiply by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So I'm going to plug a 9 right there, and bam, there you have it. So 9 times 9, I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. That's going to give me 81. I'm going to drop the 1 and carry the 8. So I'll drop the 1, and I'm going to carry the 8 right there. And then 9 times 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is 27, plus this 8 right here, and that will give me 35, right? And so now I'm going to check for any trouble coming, and I've got no trouble here, and none here. So let's go ahead and add our next area box right there. And 1 minus 1 is going to give me 0, and 8 minus 5 is going to give me 3, and 3 minus 3 zeroes out. So let's look here, and 30 is smaller than 39, so 30 becomes our remainder, and bam, there we have it. So now I'm really pretty much done. All I have to do is add this up. So I'm going to draw my line, and I'm adding up this way. I get 0 and 9 is going to give me 9. And then I got 6 that just comes straight on up. And I've got to add my remainder, which is the 30 from right here, right? So I'll add that remainder of 30. And right there you have it. 2,721 divided by 39 equals 69 with a remainder of 30. And there you have it, my friend. Hey, if you made a mistake, once again, just like always, pause the video, fix your mistake. That is the fastest way to learn. Until next time, I hope you have a fantastic day. I'll see you soon. Now to drill and kill counting by the numbers. Hey, if you already know all your counting by the numbers and you can do them all by heart, then you can stop the video right now and move on to the next problem. However, if you don't, let's drill and kill until we know them all. And now, on to counting by the numbers. This is a great strategy for anybody who does not have all their multiplication facts memorized. Counting by threes. Ready? Here we go. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. Counting by fours. Ready? And 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40. Counting by sixes. Here we go. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48, 54, 60. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48, 54, 60. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48, 54, 60. Counting by sevens, here we go. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63, 70. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63, 70. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63, 70. And counting by eights, here we go. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72, 80. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72, 80. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72, 80. Counting by nines, here we go. 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, 81, 90. 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, 81, 90. 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, 81, 90.